Hi, I'm Robert Powell, the current historian for Troop 161. Today we're going to be talking about a brief history on scouting. Before we dive into the timeline of scouting, I want to show you some of the impact scouting has on our society. There have been well over 500 million young people and adults who have taken part in scouting since it started over a century ago. Today, scouting is the world's leading educational youth movement with over 57 million scouts in over 200 countries worldwide. Through its combination of education, adventure, and fun, scouting continues to be an inspiration for young people to become active citizens who are engaged in creating a better and more sustainable world. I know that I personally developed leadership skills in my time of scouting. Now let's get to the timeline, which we'll link in the description. Now, to start with scouting's early beginnings. Scouting began as a program for boys 11 to 18. In 1907, the first experimental camp organized by Robert Powell was conducted at Brownsea Island, United Kingdom with about 20 boys, and it became a great success. Powell in 1908 published Scouting for Boys, which was an immediate hit and has since sold over 100 million copies. In 1909, Scouting for Boys was translated into 5 languages. It produced a movement that quickly adopted the name the Boy Scouts. In 1909, a scout rally in London attracted more than 11,000 scouts. In 1910, Baden-Powell started the Girl Guides under the leadership of his sister Agnes. And in 1914, the patrol system was established to ensure the stability of scouting through the World War I, as patrol leaders volunteer in places of adult leaders. In 1916, Cub Scouts were started for boys under the age of 11, supported by the publication of the Wolf's Club Handbook and using Rudyard Kipling's Jungle Book as a framework. And in 1918, Rover Scouts was formed for older boys and younger adults. In 1920, the World Scout Conference, then known as the International Scout Conference, took place during the first World Scout Jamboree in London, United Kingdom, with 33 national scout organizations in attendance. In 1920, the World Scout Bureau, then known as the Boy Scouts International Bureau, was established in London, United Kingdom. In 1922, the Second World Scout Conference was held in Paris, France, with 31 national scout organizations represented. Global membership stood at just over 1 million scouts. Between the two world wars, scouting continued to flourish, except in totalitarian regions where scouting activities were banned. In occupied countries and in those with totalitarian regimes, scouting continued in secret, with scouts playing important roles in the resistance and underground movements. Scouts supported their countries through the world wars by feeding the hungry and helping the injured. In some places, Sea Scouts acted as Coast Guards. After the World War, in 1947, World Organization of Scout Movement was granted general consultative status in the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Between 1960 and 1980, many countries gained their independence, resulting in national scouting organizations joining or rejoining as members of World Organization of the Scout Movement. Between 1980 to 2007, scouting re-emerged in every country where it had existed before World War II and started across newly independent countries in the Commonwealth of Independent States following the Cold War. Scouting in developing countries gradually evolved into a youth program, which was designed by local scout leaders to meet the needs of their communities. Scouting became more involved with social, economic, and environmental issues in the communities and countries. In 2007, the Scout movement celebrated its 100th anniversary by returning to its root in the United Kingdom for the 21st World Scout Jamboree. On August 1st, millions of scouts from around the world celebrated the Scout movement and its growth from humble beginnings to becoming a global movement with millions of members in nearly every country around the world. Between 2010 and 2020, Scouting continued to expand its membership, reaching even remote islands in the Pacific and Caribbean, while innovating and adapting its educational offerings to reflect the current needs and aspirations of young people. In 2011, the Messenger of Peace was initiated, and it was created to promote peace building and support scouting impacts on local communities. In 2018, Scouts for SDGs was launched with the aim of engaging the Scout movement and making the world's largest coordinated youth contribution to the SDGs. In 2020, the Earth Tribe was launched as a global youth community for environmental action and to enable young people to attack the impacts of climate change. Between 2020 and 2022, which was also known as the global pandemic, Scouts around the world showed the movement's resilience by taking action to support their communities and adapting to global restriction through virtual and at-home programs. In 2020, the Global Youth Mobilization was launched in an effort to support the development of young people in a post-pandemic world. It is as a partnership with the Big Six youth organizations, which is comprised of the World Organization of the Scout Movement, World Associations of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, World Alliance of Young Men's Association and Women's Association, and International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, along with the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was informational. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions, hit us in the comments. We'll do our best to answer it. And we'll see you in the next video, and keep scouting.